Hello and welcome to my video about item balance. Now you might be wondering, why is there a cute cat on the screen? Well, the answer is simply because it's a cat. You don't need a reason. Anyway, item balance. These items in my thread here are pretty much all noob traps. I mean, I can't think of a single item that I would buy for pretty much any reason. I mean, this one right here, Youmuu's Ghostblade, is pretty much the only one that I would even consider to be debatable of its viability. The rest are just blatant noob traps. Like, there's no excuse for building one. For each one of these items, there's just a better alternative to building these items that does the same job, only better. Let's take Ohmwrecker for example. Like, why would you buy Ohmwrecker? I'm just gonna pull up my client here just for the item stats and all the juicy stuff. Ohmwrecker. Okay, look at this bad boy here. Okay, you need a Philosopher's Stone to build it. Okay, who's gonna be building a Philosopher's Stone in a normal group? Your support, right? Yep. Okay. So why is your support buying a blasting wand? Why is he buying a ruby crystal? Okay, ruby crystals, useful for support, but anyway, why is the blasting wand there? Why does it need to give ability power? You don't bring a support for ability power. Okay, it's gonna give a bit more heals. It's gonna give Jenna, a little bit more shield, but with the amount of AP a support is going to have by the end game, that's going to be nothing compared to what everyone else is going to have. They're going to have armor pen, they're going to have magic pen, they're going to have loads of ability power, and your 40 ability power boosted shield or heal is going to be nothing. Like, why is that even there? I don't know. And I haven't even got to the active yet, which is why you would buy Ohmwrecker. The unique active prevents nearby enemy turrets from attacking for 2.5 seconds, 120-second cooldown. This effect cannot be used against the same turret, blah 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 blah, so it prevents stacking. Why would you need that? Why not just buy armor? Like, why not have your tank the turret? That's what the tank is for. I mean, I kind of built it on Blitzcrank a few games ago, just to try it, just to give it a chance, because I kind of called this thing a noob trap without actually really building it myself. I had built it a long time ago when it was first introduced, much like pretty much everyone else, just to say, oh hey, there's this new item, it's called Ohmwrecker, oh it stops turrets, oh it must be really cool, right? And I try it and I'm like, it's really expensive for what it does and the stats it gives. Why am I building this? Why am I not building Shirelias and helping my team? like, look at Shirelias. Oh, it's a good support item. Look at that. That's what a support item is. Excuse me. Cooldown reduction. It gives mana and health per 5. That's good. And the active is OP. Like, just putting it bluntly, the active is OP. It helps you chase, it helps you escape, it helps you position, it helps it helps everything to do with movement. And the health doesn't hurt either. Let's go back to Ohmwrecker. It gives you ability power, health, and a bit of regen. A bit more than Shirelia's actually, but still, the ability power is wasted. It's flat out wasted. Like I mentioned before, I'm just beating a dead horse here with repeating those facts, so I'm not going to bother. But anyway, let's go back to the thread here. Let's move on to the next item, Atma's Impaler. Okay, Atma's Impaler. Let's find this bad boy here. Atma's. Okay, so apparently we're playing a character that benefits from armor, crit, and a tiny bit of attack damage. Can you think of a character? No, because I couldn't either. Like, okay, it was mentioned in the thread. Garen really loves this item, apparently. I can't see it. I really can't. It gives no flat AD. That is preposterous, in my opinion. Atma's Impaler gives no flat AD. It relies solely on the passive for any attack damage, and that's based on your health, your maximum health, 1.5%, which is negligible at best. It is I don't even know. Like someone do the math for me. I'm far too lazy. I just know it's like, why not buy an Infinity Edge if you really need the attack damage and crit on Garen. Okay, yeah, you don't get 45 armor, but why Atma's Impaler? It's pointless. You would build a chain vest into maybe a glacial shroud, not as Garen, no, but as Garen you would go Sunfire Cape. You would go, heck, even Guardian Angel I'd build on Garen over Atma's Impaler. You'd build Warmogs, so that's 2 slots already taken up with tank items. And I don't really play Garen much, so I can't really comment on what he would build specifically. But I can't think of another champion that would even be thought of for Atma's Impaler. I can't even think of one. Maybe Gangplank. Okay, Gangplank. Let's take Gangplank for example. Again, I don't know why you would build Atma's Impaler even on him for the minuscule attack damage it would give, and the little bit of crit and a little bit of armor. 45 isn't a lot. It's just not a lot. Towards endgame, it's not. If you're thinking early game, it's still not worth buying an Atma's Impaler. Atma's Impaler is the worst item in the game, early game, because you're not going to have health, you're not going to have any stats that would boost it. It's supposed to be an end game item, but it's still useless in the end game. That boggles my mind. It's an item meant for late game, but it sucks at doing the one job it was built for. So why would you build this item? Like, on Gangplank, again, you would turn this Avros Blade into a static shiv and get far better stats. You have movement speed for the chase. You have better crit. 20% over 15%, and it costs 200 gold more, and you're going to make up for that with Avros Blade. I mean, okay, true, both build Avros Blade, but anyway, you get 40% attack speed. You get the passive with the static charges, whatever. And for Gangplank, because we're still talking about him, his Q can proc it. So why are you building Atmas over static shiv? Is it because you're in bronze? Probably. Okay. That's enough about that new drep. Executioner's Calling. That's I don't even want to talk about this item, it's so bad. Okay, so for 1900 gold we get 25 attack damage, 20% critical strike chance, and Grievous Wounds. Okay. Why are you building this item? Is it to counter that Vladimir that's, sitting top lane, just, queuing a bunch of minions and getting health? Or that Swain that's, in bird form, going caw 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 caw, spell vamping off of everything? Is that Fiddlesticks that's draining you? Why don't you have something in your champion lineup that can just innately deal with that? Why are you not picking something that can counter that specifically? Why are you relying on an item to do that? Why don't you have a Tristana? Why don't you have a Misfortune? Why don't you have Varus with his Rain of Arrows thing? If you're relying on a 1900 gold end item, which means it doesn't build into anything else, gonna stay like that until you sell it, which I should hope you do if you even build this thing in the first place. Why are you relying on this item that barely does anything to win your lane or to win a game? It's not going to win a game. I can guarantee you that right now. If you're looking for an item with grievous wounds because for some reason you didn't think that you would need one, or maybe their last pick was a super high sustained champion that we mentioned earlier, you would go for this item. Morellonomicon. You would leave that to your AP champion to build because it has this Cage's Lucky Pick. It has, for the gold to kind of make up for it, make up for the cost. It has mana regen, which, not all champions who would even build this item need, but it's a nice bonus. It has OP cooldown reduction. Like the 20% cooldown reduction is just like one of the main selling points of this item. So even if you're not a mana champion, you're not going to care about the 12 mana regen that you're not getting. And true, there is the fact that the grievous wounds only applies below 40% health, which is, it's a fair point to point out that Executioner's Calling doesn't have that restriction. It goes right from 100% health. But when do people usually try to use those healing abilities in a game? That's when they're low, right? You're going to try to save your heals for when you're low, for when you really, really, really need it. And so you're going to be below 40%, so that part doesn't really matter. So in a team fight, Nidalee's going to heal the lowest health ally, or Soraka's going to heal the lowest health ally, and she's probably going to wait a little bit at the end. Near a kill, just to prevent that. So, again, there's no point building Executioner's Calling. There is no point. Banner of Command. That's the next one. Banner of Command. Let's go find Bruce Banner here. Certainly no Hulk I've ever seen. Okay. Banner of Command. It builds out of Emblem of Valor, which you somehow don't want Aegis anymore. Or maybe your jungler went ahead and built Aegis without telling you. And then maybe I could see you building this item because, well, shit, I've already got Emblem of Valor. May as well build something out of it. So you basically get an old summoner spell that was removed because it was too useless, but they still thought it would be good to keep in the game. I don't know why. And you get a decent aura out of it. I believe it stacks with yeah, it does stack with Aegis. So it's not as bad of a noob trap as the other items I've mentioned. So it is one of those items that I will go ahead and say it's debatable. Okay, it's debatable on its usefulness, and you might be able to argue a situation where, oh yeah, Banner of Command totally helped us win this game. And I could say, okay, yeah, true. You've got a fair point there. But in a competitive game, if you're relying on like little tiny bonuses like promoting a minion and sending it down the bot lane and then pushing top or something and just leaving that big old siege minion pushing bot lane for you, that like no pro team is gonna just let that happen. No one really above or below gold tier is gonna fall for that. They wouldn't just ignore a big old siege minion or a big minion wave. And if you do this in mid lane, like during a team fight, that's stupid because it's just gonna get AoE down. It's not even gonna be a factor. And then of course there's Heimerdinger, which I actually haven't seen the interaction that this has with Heimerdinger, so I can't comment on that. But again, situational at best. best. It's situational. You could call it niche, but I still wouldn't buy this item because, like, again, who's going to build this item? The support? Because the jungler's not going to build Banner of Command. Hell no. Like, the jungler's not even going to consider it. He's going to go Aegis into Locket. And never Banner. Is never going to be Banner. So that would just leave your support picking that up. And that's just, and he would only pick that up because of lack of communication with the jungler. Which, at high level play, that's not going to happen. So, that's enough of that for now. Now, the Snowball items, Magi's. Let's start with Magi's. And I'm reading a lot of that in the thread, trying to justify buying that piece of crap. Let's search that up. Okay, so 1,235 gold. Okay, that's pretty cheap. I'll give you that. It gives the exact same ability power as an Amplifying Tome, with 0 stacks. And so it only starts getting useful at around 6-8 stacks, right? I don't have the numbers on me about when it starts being cost effective, as people put it. But if you've got 6 kills or assists, or if you've got, let's just say you got it just from assists. Let's say kills aren't what gave you the stacks. If you've got 6 assists and help stack this item up to that, I think your team is doing pretty good right now, to say the least. And you haven't died during that time. Or if you've got 3 kills unanswered, 3 or more kills unanswered, I think you're doing pretty darn good and you don't need this waste of a slot right here. Like, why are you not buying a needlessly large rod into Deathcap, into Zanya's, into something that you can't have taken away from you? Because that's the thing about Magi's. It can be taken away from you. The usefulness can be taken away. 1/3 of your stacks are lost upon death. That is huge. If you're at 20 and you die, that's 1/3 of them gone. I don't have the math on me because I'm too lazy to do it. But yeah, it's the only item, along with sort of the Occult, which we'll get to in a minute, which I'll probably just be saying the same thing. Those are the only 2 items in the game where the usefulness can be taken away from you directly. I mean, true, you can, the enemy can build magic resist against your AP or armor against your AD, blah blah blah. That's different. That's countering your build. That's not taking it away from you directly. Because if you happen to die somehow, if you, I don't know, get caught somewhere and then you die and then you lose a good chunk of your stacks, you're going to be fighting for those back, and then it's a reverse snowball now. The other team has a chance to jump on you, not let you get those stacks back, and punish you for building such a terrible item, which any good team would, if they even let you get stacked in the first place. Let's just jump right to sort of the Occult. Now this is even worse. It's, again, the same attack damage as Longsword. 1,200 gold. Yeah, okay, cheap. 5 attack damage per stack. I mean, I don't know what more I can say that I haven't already said for Magi's. It is useless. It is useless. Is 15% bonus movement speed at 20 stacks? Are you kidding me? Let's see what other item does that. Oh, I see. What else? Oh yeah, it is called Zephyr. Fat fingered that there. 10% movement speed. Okay, not quite as much, but it still gives so much more stuff, and is so much better. I mean, I don't think you'd buy them in the same situation, but Let's try to find an item that you would buy in the same situation. Let's see. Let's go back to Sword of the Occult. So you would want. What do you want this item for? You want attack damage and movement speed. Let's see. What gives attack damage? And let's see, movement. There it is. Trinity Force. And that was just recently buffed to be pretty much OP, and I'd actually be surprised if they don't nerf it soon. I mean, even Youmoo's Ghostblade, which I'll get to later, is better than Sword of the Occult, and that's pretty sad. And the scimitar there, that's still better. I don't build that often, but it's still better. Like, why would you buy Sword of the Occult when you could buy Zephyr or Trinity Force and deal tons of damage? It's mind-boggling again. Anyway, that's enough of that. Runaan's. Oh god. Runaan's Hurricane. Let's look for this piece of crap. Okay. So for some reason we're playing an AD carry that we're not going to build damage on. Already that sounds ridiculous. So you're building attack speed. Oh, okay. I'm going to build more attack speed. Oh, okay. And then we're going to spend 2,400 gold on attack speed alone. Nothing else. It has a passive that just helps wave clear. That's terrible. That is terrible. Okay, 70% attack speed. That's okay. That's like the highest amount of attack speed a single item gives in the game. Fair point. But let's just look at what attack speed does here, or what items give attack speed. Sorry, excuse me. Let's see. The next closest, let's see, is Zephyr, I think. Zephyr and Phantom Dancer. And Blade of the Ruined King not too far off, and Nashor's Tooth, but that's I'm not going to count that because we're talking 80 carries here. I mean, maybe, okay, I'll consider it for the case of Teemo or some, I don't know, some champion like that. So, for Teemo specifically, I would lump Nashor's Tooth in with a Runaan's champion that would build that. But, kinda lost my train of thought. But, okay. Why would you buy this over Phantom Dancer? Why would you buy that over Phantom Dancer? It is 400 gold cheaper, I'll give you that. But the build path for Phantom Dancer is a lot better. It gives a lot more benefits early on than Runaan's would. The Zeal gives attack speed, movement speed, crit, all something most AD carries will drool over. And a Zephyr, if you want to build a Zephyr, then again that's going to give a lot more beneficial stats early on during the build. So you don't have to wait for a big power spike when you finally complete Runaan's. And then, surprise, surprise, you're still useless because you're not building stats that enhance your on-hit abilities, whatever you have. Like, if you're Teemo, if you're saving for a Hurricane, your Toxic Shot isn't going to do damage. Because you're not building AP, because you're saving for this item that is supposed to help you, but it doesn't. It doesn't do the job that it's designed to do because it's so expensive for what it does. And if you want attack speed and something that helps on hit, champions with an on hit thing like Vayne or Twitch, buy Blade of the Ruined King. It is pretty much broken at this point. And look at this smooth build path. Look at this. These cheap milestone items, let's call them. They you start off with a longsword. That's, longsword 2 pots. That's a standard start for most AD carries. 400 more gold. You get vampiric scepter, so you get some life steal, so you can sustain a little bit. You go into Bilgewater Cutlass, more attack damage. Like, these are like stepping stones into like the big final Blade of the Ruined King, and each stepping stone helps along the way. And with Runaans, all you get is attack speed. That's it. Attack speed here, attack speed there, attack speed there, and attack speed there. That's it. That's all. You don't get any goodies. You get a stupid little ball that follows your champion around and does minuscule damage to enemies near your primary target. Again, it is mind-boggling as to how useless that item is. I mean, yeah, it kind of feels fun. It's supposed to feel fun, but that's part of why it's a noob trap. It makes you think it's good. It makes you think it's all fun to use, but in the end, it doesn't help you at all. It just delays, your BF sword. It delays your bloodthirster. It delays everything else for minuscule benefit. Anyway, let's go to Ghostblade. Now, this is one of the items that might be debatable a little bit. But again, 2,700 gold for stats that you can get from Blade of the Ruined King that has a better active, better stats for an AD carry. Why would you build this item? Who would you build this item on first? Would you build it on any AD carry? No. Ugh. I mean, at first glance, you might think, oh, why not? Why can't I build this on Ashe? Why can't I build this on Twitch? Why can't I build this on Tristana? Well, because, first of all, the unique active is supposed to be a deterrent for ranged champions to build it because it's a reduced effect. Only 4 seconds as opposed to 6 on a melee champion. So, in a game about minimizing weaknesses and maximizing strength, we want to build this on a melee champion, right? So let's take Xin. I kind of talked about this in the thread. You can look through the pages and find my big post on Youmoo's regarding Xin, but to reiterate, it gives 20% move speed and 40% attack speed on the active. So before you activate this and after you activate this and the active, 6 seconds after, you don't get those benefits, and that's huge. That breaks this item, basically. That's what makes this item bad. You don't get those movement speed off the active. Sorry, I'm gonna clear that up. When the active is not activated. Okay. What you do get is minor attack damage, minor crit chance, and 10% cooldown reduction. The cooldown reduction is the only good part about this item, I'd say. So on someone like Pantheon, I guess, could like it for the cooldown reduction, but let's see, what else could Pantheon build? Black Cleaver. Much better choice. It's a much better choice for Pantheon, because he can throw his spears more often, and his Heartseeker Strike applies a stack of this passive every time it damages, so that's good. It's 300 gold more expensive, but again, I would say it's worth it. The build path is pretty smooth. You build into Brutalizer, which gives you the cooldown reduction already, so right when you build that, then you can start spamming spears more. And it gives health, which pretty much all melee champions need just to be able to survive a bit more. Youmoo's doesn't give any defensive stats. Any. And when we compare actives to Blade of the Ruined King, what do we find? We find that Blade of the Ruin King. Let's just find this Blade of the Ruin King. We find that the active damages the champion, the enemy champion, just right off the bat. It just damages him, which, you know what? I don't need to tell you how good that is. It heals you, which again, I don't need to tell you that that's amazing. And it steals 30% of the target's movement speed for 3 seconds. So okay, it's less duration, but it helps you stick more to your target because it slows them down while speeding you up. It's like having a Malphite queue with you at all times. So, and it gives attack speed all the time. It gives lifesteal, a good amount of it, 15% lifesteal. And, okay, 5 less attack damage than Youmoo's, but that's negligible. And it makes up for that with the unique passive where you deal 5% of the target's current health and bonus physical damage. If we want to argue about the old Madrid's Blood Razor, that dealt magical damage, and anyone with a brain can tell you that the magic damage from that was easily countered by a Negatron Cloak. One Negatron Cloak could make it completely trivial, because an AD carry, someone that would build that item, isn't going to be building Magic Pen. So why would you buy Youmoo's? I'm gonna leave it at that. I've said all I need to say on that item. Sword of the Divine. Now, I will admit, building Sword of the Divine on Rangar is hilarious. It's really hilarious. But it suffers the same problem as Runaan's. It gives one stat. It gives one stat for the cost. Look, 2,150 gold for an item that gives one stat. And it doesn't even give any of those stats when it's on cooldown. So, what? So, okay, you use this item, your Rangar, you jump in, you go, rah, 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 three supercharged attacks, and then you just run around the back like an injured puppy until it's back off cooldown. And so that's like 60 seconds. That's 60 seconds of having a useless item in one of your slots. Like, not just figuratively useless, literally useless. It doesn't do anything. If you happen to be around and get an assist. Actually, it doesn't even give the reduce on assist, so excuse me. It's even more useless than I thought. Champion kills reduce the current cooldown by 50%. That's current cooldown, not max cooldown. So, you kill the first champion, and you're going to reduce the cooldown by 50%. Okay, you're at 30 seconds. If you somehow manage to kill another champion, you reduce it by another 15 seconds. So it's going to have a 15-second cooldown. But I don't know how you're going to make that second kill when this Sword of the Divine is on cooldown and it doesn't do anything. And you're investing all this money into an item that doesn't do anything anymore after you use it. Until it's up again. So, yeah, this just does not make sense to me. Like, why would you build this item? Why? Again, on Rangar, on Rangar, I can kind of see it. It's sort of fun to do it. It's gimmicky, though, obviously, with his triple Q thing. But again, just don't build this item, please. Don't build it. Build something useful. Now I just recently added this little gem to my original post. Even I had forgotten about it. It's that bad. And this will be where I'm going to finish off my video. It gives, let's look it up. It says miracle. First of all, you need to build the Philosopher's Stone to get it, which is, by design, gold inefficient. I mean, all gold per 10 items are designed to be gold inefficient because of the passive that it gives. So you're supposed to hold on to it for a bit, make it earn a little bit back of what you spent on it, so you get that investment back, and then you finally build it into one of these items. Not Ohmwrecker, because, well, we already went over that. But back to Eleisa's miracle, you get 10 health regen per 5 and 15 mana regen per 5. And it reduces the summoner spell cooldowns on 3 summoner spells that nobody uses. So that in itself is, makes it that much worse. I mean, you could use, I kinda use clairvoyance every once in a while, but I know it's not optimal when I do use it. I realize that. I just use it sometimes, just, a bit of nostalgia. Never in ranked. Oh god, no. Never in ranked. I never use that summoner spell or this item in ranked. But I don't even use this item in normals. That's how bad it is. One, you waste your Philosopher's Stone building into it, so now I have to build another Philosopher's Stone and sink more money into this gold inefficient item. Again, by design, it's gold inefficient. And then you can start again on your Shirelias, or something useful that will help the team. Granted, this does, the fact that upon gaining 3 levels, this item becomes a permanent bonus and the item is consumed. That is good, but it's not good enough to make up for 1100 gold. It's just simply not for a support, because the support's the only champion that's gonna build this item. Can you imagine an AD carry building a Philosopher's Stone into Eleisa's miracle? I would hope not, unless you're so far deep down in the cardboard league that people are building Philosopher's Stones on AD carries, and I hope I never see that in my games. No. So, anyway, I think I've said all I wanted to say. Thank you for your upvotes. Thank you for supporting the thread. And I will admit, I'll be the first to admit that I'm Silver 2. That's my league. I can go to it right now. No. I can go and show you my league. Blah blah blah. Shut up. I am Silver 2. That's my league. I have 177 wins in here, so I've been here pretty long. So I'm not the best of the best. I'm not Diamond. I'm not Hotshot GG or anything like that. But if I may be honest, that's because of my mechanics. My mechanics are the reason I can't get out of Silver right now, and I'm working on those. They are getting better. But my game knowledge is good. It's just executing that I need to work on, and that's a topic for another discussion. So anyway, I think that's all I wanted to say on this topic. If you agree, if you disagree with me, then let's talk about it in the thread. And for now, let's just look at that cat. Isn't that adorable? I got a hold that a couple days ago, and now I want a cat. I mean, look at that face. I'm showing you a picture of a cat, so you can't disagree with me anymore. Anyway, I will leave that here. Signing off.